You must detach from your old self. That was a message I received this morning from Wilhelm. It's on my site, anyadvicefortoday.com, and it was referring to a message I received in 2012 that was corresponding with this date to keep pushing me to let go so that I could help more in this ascension of our world, that I could help more in the change on our planet. We are moving through big changes, and we also have to suspend our disbelief about ourselves, because we're going to move into new parts of ourselves or new aspects of ourselves that we need to accept if we want to live happy, successful, extraordinary lives. And that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to be the example. This is an evolutionary change that we're moving through, and I know a lot of people can't even see it. A lot of people aren't paying attention and think things are just kind of happening accidentally. Well, they aren't. All of this is coming about, and you could study science, physics, you can study all kinds of things to see why it is occurring, because we're moving into a different dimension. But it's challenging because there's so much energy going on for all of us, and this is why we have the chaos, why we have wars, why we have people trying to hold on to old stuff. That's why the war in Ukraine is happening. Someone trying to hold on to what was, or trying to recapture that. We're not going to do that, because we're moving into a new dimension. It's a dimension in thinking. It's not a place we're going to. It's our consciousness. I've worked through all of this. I've handled problems. I've done all of this, so I understand it. But the way I did it was I downloaded information. I sat every day and wrote down the information, the guidance that I was receiving. That was just, I had so many problems. I had so many things that happened to me that I had to do that. But then the other thing that happened, I'm introverted, so I didn't want to tell people. And I've held myself back that way because I couldn't be honest about how this occurred. I met my nephews yesterday for Christmas, and I noticed that, wow, I'm walking around on my feet now on hardwood floors. I couldn't do that for 25 years. I had all these problems from my feet from that time where I lost part of my foot and all of that, had to learn how to walk again. I've gone through all of that. And the reason that happened was because I had divorced myself from me. And that's why I don't want to see people do that. It's crazy. But the good part about that is because I had to move through all of that trauma, I developed this work. Now, the work that I received in 2012 was specifically for this period in our world, which is why the messages were so aligned. It's hard to think about this because we think only in time happening this way. When you study quantum physics or science or whatever, you will see that that's not actually how things happen. Einstein told us that. But now we're in a different place, and what I am doing is I'm going to make my contribution. I can no longer hold back what I know that I have. The other thing that happened, and I ignore things. There was someone who took my program a year ago, and he says in there, I've done Bob Proctor, Tony Robbins, Jack Canfield, Abraham Hicks. He says, but this program seemed to work faster. I just ignored that. I heard it, but I didn't really take it to heart, because then I would have changed the price. I would have done all of those things, but I'm doing that now, and I'm going to build it out because I know how long we're going to be moving through this. But I just wanted you to understand why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I know the difference that it's going to make in our world, and my contribution is going to be to offer what I have. We all have something to offer, and the way that I'm doing it is one person at a time, to take each person and get you to understand how valuable you are, what you have to offer, and to own that and love yourself, because that's a new energy that you're putting into the world. And the byproduct of that is you become successful, you become happy. I've seen it. I have people who have done it already and are moving on that road. But I will say that it's going to be a little challenging for these next several months to a year. But if we're doing this, it's going to make it better. We control the environment of our world by the actions that we each take. And when we take actions collectively that are of love and upliftment, then we have a different world. And that's what I'm doing. I can't convince people that is what is occurring, but you'll see it. And I've written about it for almost 3 years now, so you might have noticed it now. However, the two spaces that I said where you can get this for 1 month's payment and have this whole year of transforming your life, which I guarantee the results, that's still there. But I know people didn't understand or believe that could happen. And if you listen to the guy from last year, you would know that it could happen. And I'm going to also do something else, which I'm going to do talks tomorrow for 4 days, basically, answering your questions through Wilhelm. I'm going to bring Wilhelm in, and we're going to then answer whatever questions you have about your life, the new year, what's happening in the world, and all of that, and we'll see what comes through. But you must understand, we have to let go of our disbelief. We all come in and with different gifts and all, and mine was just uncomfortable for me to own, but I have to now because I know what's going on. And again, it's changed my life. And I want to help you change yours and become all you can be. And let me say something else. It never matters how old you are. If you do this work, you can still accomplish so much more in your life and make the contribution that your life was intended to make in this world.